Bitcoin and Litecoin, the big picture. What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. We're going to take a look at the charts. We're going to start out with Litecoin, then we're going to move on to Bitcoin. Then we're going to take a look at the big picture, the Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart, and why I believe we're still on our way to 46,000 by the end of the year. And I am still sticking to that. And I'll show you why in the end of the video, so definitely stick around, check it out. Also, I want to remind you guys, in the description box below the video, there's some links down there. One is a Discord link. It's totally free. There's tons of people in there. Just a great crypto community. Check it out. If you love crypto, you'll love the community. If you just want to go in there and talk about crypto, if you want to learn to trade, there's lots of things to do in there. Definitely check it out. It's a great community, guys. Also, the other links down there are affiliate links that really help the channel out. If you choose to use them, that's awesome. If you can't use them, that's all right too. The latest one in there is the KRAKEN Exchange link. That one is the exchange I use for my leverage trading. So definitely check it out, and let's get on with the video. Alright guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind, it's still a speculative market. Do not put in more than you're willing to lose. And with that being said, if you're new here or you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen. That'll get you subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos, as I do post updates every day. That way you don't miss out on anything. I try to keep everybody updated with what I'm seeing in the market. Also, guys, if you could smash those likes, leave your comments. Let me know what you think. If you have any ways I can improve the videos, let me know in the comments, or just leave comments and let me know what you think. I love reading your guys' comments. So let's get into the charts and see what's going on. All right, so usually I start out on daily. I'm going to start out on the weekly here on Bitcoin, or Litecoin, I'm sorry. If you look here, we're making higher lows in the RSI, or in the price action, lower lows in the RSI, hidden bullish divergence. We could still go down further. I don't want anybody to think I'm saying we're not going down further. You know, $81 range, maybe, possibly all the way down to the $75 range, somewhere in there is possible. But I'm looking for a move up here, and I'll show you why. We'll go into the daily chart. All right, let's take a look at the daily and what I'm looking at here. So scrunch it down a little bit, and looking at this as a big cup forming a handle, and our 146 is our neckline of this. I'll draw it in there so you guys can see. So this would be the top of the cup, and then this would be the handle forming. If that's what we're forming, that'd be up to the 146 is the neckline. If we break through that, then my target is right around the $271 range. Now, that's not my end of the year target. I believe we'll go much higher in Litecoin, but as of now, that's the target. If this is validated and we break this, that would be a cup and handle. Now let's look at the RSI. We had been watching this rising channel all the way since November. We had like a bear trap out of it here, popped back in, and fell back out of it and created this falling channel here. There's definitely room, guys, to fall all the way down here, and that'll be the bearish case scenario. Not that I think that's going to happen, but we do need to look at it. Now, what I'm looking at here, if you guys were watching yesterday, obviously this is a long falling channel that we've been in since, I believe it was April. Yeah, April. We've had a lot of action in here, and if you want to know what all this is, just go back to my prior videos. But I do want to show you yesterday. I know I was looking at this as a falling wedge in the RSI right here, and we fell out of that. I'm still looking at it somewhat as a falling wedge or falling channel, being right here. It does look like we could come back down and test the top of this channel here, which would be right here on the RSI, and move up from there. And we'll take a look at that in the price action. So first off, I want to look at the bearish case scenario, guys, which could possibly play out. I had this trend line drawn in here yesterday, and we fell out of it, came back up, tested it, got resistance, and fell back down. What I'm looking at in the bearish case here, guys, we could move up from here. Let me get rid of this, get that out of the way, clean up the charts a little bit. What I'm looking at here is, as you can see, this blue trend line that I have drawn in here. We broke out of here. I believe this was a bear trap, guys. It also fell out of this falling channel, probably trapped a bunch of shorts down here. Now, I do believe it is possible that we come down to this 87, around the $87 range, and retest this blue trend line for support. I'm going to throw the fibs on it real quick just to see what that looks like. That would line up with the golden pocket area between the 0.618 and 0.65. So that is the area I'm looking at, around the 87 and a quarter range for a bounce up. I do believe we're going to get a bounce there. And then we could possibly get up to this $105 range, which by the time it got up there would be around the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. And, you know, we could get a rejection from there. But like I said, I'm going to look at the bearish case scenario first. If this was to break, I'm looking at somewhere between the 75 and the $62 range. And that would be testing the bottom of this channel here. Again, guys, this is the bearish case scenario. Unless this 87.25 breaks, I don't believe we're going down to these levels. That also would match up with the RSI testing the top of this channel here. So we'll have to watch that close and see what happens. But I do have a measured move. Once we break up here, like I said, it's going to be around the 105 depending on where it hits the top of this channel. The measured move of that is the width of the channel to where we break out. So around the 137, and again, if we break out further down, you know, it could be the 130 range. It all depends on when we break out of here, and that is why I do daily updates. So definitely keep your notifications on, and I might possibly do a live stream tonight, depending on what's going on with the charts. But that's where I'm at for now, and if we're to break this 137 area, I do believe we could be, you know, making our climb up into these ranges. So again, guys, that 87 and a quarter is the area to watch, and if that breaks, then we're looking at the, you know, $70 to $75 range, somewhere in there, even though I don't believe that's happening. I'm going to look at the Bitcoin chart real quick. Don't forget, we're going to look at the Bitcoin daily versus the gold weekly chart, which we've been watching since January on this channel, and it is still playing out beautifully. Okay, let's see. This is Bitcoin on the weekly, and we are making higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the RSI. Definitely hidden bullish divergence showing. And if we take a look back, we had almost the same type deal right here, which would have been in 2000. Let me go on the log chart real quick. Spread that out and take a look at it real quick. What happened there? Excuse me. Same type of deal we're having right now, guys. As you can see, we had a high, came down, made a lower high, came down, made a higher low, and got some sideways action before moving up. And you can see that all in the RSI here. And again, if you look at where we're at now, same type deal. Right where we're at, we made a high here, low, higher, or lower high, now low, higher low. Like I said, it definitely looks like hidden bullish divergence forming here. Let me get out of the log chart and we'll go over to the daily. All right, so looking at the daily, I keep moving this triangle, but I still believe that this was just a bear trap here, and we trapped some bears down here. But we will look at the bullish or the bearish case scenario also. Let's look at the daily RSI first of all. And last week I drew this in here, and this being a falling wedge, which we broke out of right here. It looks like we could be coming back down to test the top of this channel here. Let's look at the 4 hour. And looking at the 4 hour, as you can see, I had this falling channel here we broke out of. Now it looks like we're breaking back down in. We could possibly move this over to this range. And the same thing, looks like another falling wedge, and these do play out pretty well. Again, this is on the 4 hour, so as you can see, this one played out. We came up, came back down, tested for support, got support, bounced back up. It does look like we are forming a falling wedge in the 4 hour once again, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Now let's look at the price action. First, we'll take a look at the bearish case scenario. You know what, before that, sorry I didn't do this. We're going to look at our higher targets here. I know there's a lot of FUD going on. A lot of people calling for super low lows. Guys, this is still a parabolic bull run, in my opinion. There's nothing to be worried about, especially if you're holding. I wanted to explain that. I hold most of my Bitcoin and Litecoin. I don't trade them. And when I leverage trade, when I win and I get profits off my leverage, I buy more. I am holding, and I started buying down here. You can check my videos in December when I was calling bottom down here at the 3100 range. And that is when I started accumulating again. And I continue to accumulate now because I do believe we're going to see all-time highs this year. But I do want to show you my higher price targets, and then we'll go back to the 4 hour and look at the bearish case scenario. But I'm looking for a break of this triangle, bull flag, or bull pennant, whatever you want to call it here, up to the 1600 range. I'll zoom in so you can see that and how I got my measured move. This is a measured move of the width of the triangle here. And if we were to break out around that 12.1, 12.2 range, which is also a rising channel here, if we were to break out, my target there is 16,400, 16,500, somewhere in that range. Again, that all depends on if and when we break out of this triangle. I have another target up here at 18,400, and that is measuring this as a flag pull. And depending on where we break out, I have a target there around 18.4. There's other ways to look at that. You could look at this whole thing as a flag pull and then get a much higher target. But that's the way I'm looking at it now. We'll change it up if we have to. And looking at this bigger rising wedge here, the measured move, if we're to break out around that 16.4, 16.5 range, my target's 29,000. Again, that's not my end of the year target. We'll take a look at that at the end of the video in the Bitcoin Daily versus Gold Weekly. Now I want to go back to the 4 hour and look at the bearish case scenario here, which is still bullish in my opinion, even though, you know, we could be looking at more drop. But this 10,000 seems to be holding pretty well here. We got 8 minutes left in this 4 hour candle. The next 4 hour candle will probably tell us a lot more. But I do want to, I had this triangle drawn here, looking at this as a bull trap, and came down looking at this as a bear trap now. I had this target, like I said, I had this triangle. I'll show you real quick. I had this triangle more up in this area yesterday, but since we did come down, and I'll move it again if need be once we finish this little move here. Again, guys, you look at the big picture, this is not scary at all. This is all healthy. Let me get rid of these lines here. This was that, if you watch all the FUDsters, this is that death cross that everybody was talking about. You know, we're gonna get just smashed here, get down to new lows, whatever. Obviously we had the cross, we had this move down. It looks like we're getting a nice move up from here. Not to say we can't go down further. Like I said, we're going to take a look at the bearish case scenario now. If this was to break, I would be looking for support right around in the 95 to 9600 range, somewhere in this area, to get a bounce. Again, if we break through here, we break this low of 98.50, and then if that, you can see this is the bottom trend line here of this rising channel. If that was to break, then yes, looking towards the 81 to 8200 range. I'm going to get rid of this target here because I don't believe that will ever happen. So let's take a look now. Let's zoom in and pull out our fibs on this move real quick. And we'll go to the swing low, to the swing high. As you can see, we hit the 0.618 perfectly and got this bounce here. Like I said, you know, I guess, whoops, let me move this up. I guess worst case scenario, we could come back down to this 9500 range. That's the bearish case scenario. I do believe it's possible we continue up from here though. That was a nice bounce area right on the 0.618 fib. So I'm looking for another move up there. Like I said, worst case scenario, these areas break. Let me change this to orange. Yeah, if these areas break, obviously we're looking at the $8,100 range. But again, I'm really looking at this triangle to hold. Again, that's my personal bias, but I do believe that's most likely going to happen. And then we go up to, like I said, the measured move off of breaking out of that triangle, depending on where we break out, guys. We could break out way down here, then the measured move is 15.6. It all depends. That's why I do updated videos daily. So now I want to go to the Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart. And looking at the Bitcoin daily, you can see that, just take a good look at this. Again, people are arguing with me, and it really doesn't matter, honestly, but people want to say it's a fractal. It's two different charts. A fractal is usually a similarity of itself, meaning the fractals would be in the same chart. But regardless, call it a fractal, whatever you want. But this is a pattern here, and a pattern is a pattern, period. They're not going to play out 100% exact candle for candle. But this is my end of the year target, 46 to 47,000, and it still remains my end of the year target. Yeah, that's a huge move up. I get that. But if you look down here, we went from 4,500 all the way up to 20,000 in just a couple months here. We have, 4 months left. What is it, July? We have 5 months left to get up to this target. I definitely think that's possible, and I'll show you why here in a minute. But I want you to take a good look at this white trend line here, drawn from these two supports from the bear market, going all the way across, and we're hovering around it now. It was holding that support. We broke through, got resistance, come back down. And I do believe it's possible that we're going to break this here in the near future and get back above it for support. Now let's look at the gold weekly chart. I have that same trend line drawn from these. There's probably 4 or 5 touches in here from the bear market, the support from the bear market, and same thing. We hovered around this, broke through, it acted as resistance, got back, it was support, tested it for support a couple times, and moved up from there. I'm going to switch back and forth so you can kind of get an idea why I'm looking at it like this. And then we're going to take a look at the weekly and the monthly RSIs in Bitcoin and show you the same thing we've been watching since January and how it's played out. Mind you, in January was right in this area. We started watching this before it broke this yellow and white trend line here from the 2 peaks. This is where we've been watching this from. It's been playing out beautifully, guys. And again, these don't have to be exact candle for candle. It's just a pattern, and I do believe this pattern is going to play out still. Let's switch back and forth so you guys can see it. Amazing similarities. I do see this happening, like I said, by the end of the year. I'm still looking at the $46,000 to $47,000 range for end of year target. Another thing I want to point out is if you look at the two, zoom in a little bit, we had 2 touches on this long-term trend line for Bitcoin. Same thing in gold. If we zoom in, 2 touches on the long-term trend line for gold before obviously starting a huge bull run. Yes, there's corrections on the way up, just like we're seeing now. I did see somebody else comparing this area to the area we're at now, which I guess is possible, but by looking at the price action, I do believe that we are right in that area right here. This would have had us pass the all-time high if this was what we were doing. So that's why I don't believe we're there. Just click back. I do believe we're right in this range here. So yeah, if you're getting paranoid and scared, you know, sit back, really start to learn charting, do your own analysis. Don't watch all these guys that are, one day they're super bullish, we're going to 20,000, the next day we're going to 5,000. It's all for views, guys. I try to be as straightforward and honest and give you my honest opinion of what's going on here. Some people hate it, some people love it. Whatever it is, what it is, I'm not going to change for anybody. So I do want to look at the weekly RSI. Another thing we've been watching since January. If we take a look at what's going on here, guys, I have these 2 trend lines. This is the 2013 bull market followed by the bear market. We had 2 touches of resistance before starting the bull market. 2017 bull market followed by the bear market. 2 touches of resistance before starting the bull market. Going to the monthly. The monthly chart, same thing. I have these 2 arcs drawn here. This arc here, I believe, is going to be more something like this. And actually, I'd actually move that over. Something like that. I do believe we're going to go more parabolic here very quickly. But I do want to point out, 2013 bull market followed by the bear market, each arrow representing a new low in the RSI. We had 4 of them before starting the bull market. 2017 bull market followed by the bear market, each arrow representing a low in the RSI before starting the bull run. So that's where I'm at with that, guys. If you guys are getting all scared and paranoid, please learn to do your own charting. Join our Discord group. There's a bunch of great people in there that'll really help you out. And you can start to learn to do your own charting, so you don't have to watch these FUD channels and crazy, just all over the place analysis. I've stuck with the same analysis all year. Haven't really changed anything. Like I said, we've been watching the gold to Bitcoin chart since January. It's been playing out beautifully. Still is. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely consider subscribing by clicking the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Then tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash the likes, guys. Smash them. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know how I can improve the videos. Let me know what you would like to see. I appreciate you guys stopping in, and I'm out of here. I will see you later.